All right, let me move on to the next one. This face cage. Yeah, I think it needs to create this little cage, and then so they can do the skinning of the face next. So I'm going to go build. Yeah, and it's doing the skinning. Okay, so it's done with that. See what I have. Let me temporarily disable polygons. That's a legal move. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, all these are going to be fighting for influence in a very weird way, I'm guessing, because this is not a real nose. Yeah, this is cool. You look at the nose side. Yeah, you can get a lot of interesting twitches on the face with this. All right, move on to the eyebrows. Build. Okay, so time to check these eyebrow controls. Yeah, some weird skinning stuff there because of how far my forehead went back. So this would definitely be something that weight painting would have to be fixed for. But the eyebrows are presentable. They're doing a fairly good job. Let me look. Okay, yeah, that's good. Let me look at the additional controls. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, where I'm still going to get control of the eyebrows I have, even though the controls are not directly on top of them. I don't really mind that. This you wouldn't really be moving. But yeah, this is something where the weighting will definitely have to be altered. It's going too far up because of how far I picked my brow to go. So I'll be removing a lot of weighting from here. All right, let me go to the squint, build. Okay, so this. It's having a very difficult time resolving this one. Yeah, this one is not turning out too well. Let me see where it's pulling this geometry from. The inside, more than likely. Yeah, it's pulling it from inside the eye. So this might also be a weighting fix, but in the grander scheme of things, for squint, for this character, I wonder if this is too much. If I wanted the character to squint, that is way too much. All right, so this is one of the ones where I can do an edit here, or I can do it later. Driving systems were modified so that you could actually make alterations halfway between, but I'm not going to risk it for now. But I remember Advanced Skeleton did put out a tutorial that said you could make edits to driving systems in the middle. But I'm going to go to the end keyframe and make these changes. So for something like this, I'm going to move it down. Just so I lose that mess. And this is enough of a squint. And because auto key is on, I think it should have set a key over there. And here too, I'm going to reduce this. I want to be careful though not to completely ruin the squint. And this is a driving system, so I can always go back and alter it. And also because of how big my eyes are, I do have to be careful about how much of this squinting effect I'm going for. So let me move this out of the way. Yeah, to about there, just so I'm not going over my eyes. Let me see what it looks like. This should have registered. Let me try to store it manually by setting a key. Okay, now it's storing it. Yeah, so it looks like I do have to set a key on this. So let me move this up again, and this too, just so it's reasonable. Yeah, this should suffice. Let me bring this down a little bit too, just in preparation. And again, these are driving systems, so I'll get to play with them again later. But I think I did do enough repair here. Let me key that, and key that, so that it registers my changes. Yeah, that's enough editing for now. And I think at this stage you could right click and go OK finish step just to test it. And also for it to create the property up here. Yeah, so this is what I just edited, and I can test the control out, but it's not necessary. If you hit build on the next one, I think it moves on. So yeah, we'll come back and be doing the troubleshooting on this and fix a lot of the skinning. Let's move on to the smile pool. This is a big one. We go build. Okay, so this is definitely not the best. You have to do some adjusting, definitely some weight painting too. But the thing to consider about the smile is that it should be wrapping around the teeth. And in my case, obviously, because this is an unnatural character, what it was expecting, I overshot with my teeth. So I'm going to make these adjustments to make sure it's wrapping around the teeth. Yeah, this is definitely not the best result, but I didn't expect it. Yeah, I'm not going to fix this here. I'm going to take my time after and deal with these issues. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to get the best crease it can. It's not a particularly easy thing to do with smiles, so there will have to be some adjustments here. Yeah, I'm going to see if this is going to be my only resolution for a smile. If the driving systems can't give me the best result, because I suspect this is going to require a lot more changes than these controls can give to get a nice smile. So I might have to play around with another solution. But for now, I'll just go with this and save this for the troubleshooting phase. These are the things I expected to happen at this stage. Some things to fix, and we have quite a few of them.